Hello, welcome to the vlog. I do not suggest eating chips for breakfast, but sometimes there's no time to lose. Oh, and there is a very true saying, which is you do not know what you have until you don't have it anymore. Having a countertop is something you take for granted all the time. Don't take it for granted. It is so wonderful to have a countertop. Chips on the countertop.
If there is one product I can recommend, it is Darn Tough Socks. True to their name, these are some darn tough socks. I've had 6 pairs for like 3 years, and only one of them has a hole in it, and I think it's because like my toenail was like sharp. So if you're in the market for some socks, Darn Tough Socks. Very good. Going along with what I talked about yesterday, the best metaphor I've ever heard for what it's like to be a human is by this dude named Jonathan Haidt. He has a book called The Happiness Hypothesis where he tries to figure out how come some people are happy, some people aren't happy, what does it mean to be happy, all this stuff. But he calls being a human like being a rider on an elephant. The rider is your conscious, like prefrontal cortex brain, the rational thought center. The elephant is all the other parts of the brain that have been there much longer than the rational part. And just how a rider has a certain degree of control over the elephant, depending on their skill, they can make the elephant do more interesting things. We as humans have a certain amount of control over our like bodily urges, bodily needs, all these very ingrained deep subsystems, but it's only a certain amount of control. At the end of the day, no matter how good the rider is, if the elephant wants to do something, it is going to do it. And if the elephant is tired that day, it doesn't care that you want to ride it, it is gonna go to sleep. And our brains are exactly the same way. You can get by just forcing something to happen for a long time by whipping your elephant into shape. But until you make that elephant actually happy and well fed and well rested, it's not gonna respond to commands the way that you want it to. And it's especially a good metaphor because certain people are better riders, certain people have weaker elephants, stronger elephants. Some people don't even know that they are a rider on an elephant. But anyways, let's continue. And today, the prevailing message that I'm getting from my elephant is, please get us some new shoes. These shoes are like 2 years old now. I think it's time, because I'm not feeling that run today. You know what I'm saying? Cancel that, not feeling the weights either, but I am feeling dinner time. Who doesn't feel dinner time? Okay, disappointingly, that is gonna do it for today's vlog. Hope you have a good day, etc. Thank you for watching, etc. Will I see you tomorrow? Who knows? Okay, gonna go sell some old books, including this gem right here, the Mortal Kombat book. Do you know how much I loved this book as a kid? And this spine bend right here, when I was a kid, I was like super OCD and I wouldn't bend the spine on any of my books. And then my brother was mad at me one time and he bent the spine. A cauldron, muttered Moriarty. I thought only witches had those. Shut up, Kano said from the side of his mouth. Where's your manners? Herschel and the Hanukkah goblins. I went to a Jewish kindergarten, so we did all sorts of Jewish stuff. The Lord of the Rings CDs. The first volume got stolen by somebody who, it was really weird. One time my car was unlocked and somebody just like went through, stole all the useful stuff, like almost as if they were a vagrant. They stole a bag, but took all the contents of the bag out, and they only stole one of my Lord of the Rings audiobooks. The Lord of the Rings books themselves, I resigned myself a long time ago that I'm never gonna read these, so. Or are these my brothers? Chronicles of Narnia, I liked this a lot when I was a kid. Don't need to read it anymore. And a Japanese English dictionary. This is so useless. I mean, it looks really nice, but man, that is useless. The internet made some things very useless. Let's go. I could have made a lot more money on eBay, but man, it's just so nice to walk in there and get money for stuff that you didn't even know that you had. Although, I probably could have gotten a lot more. Got 15 bucks for all of that.
What on earth is this? That is slightly disturbing. I rode my bike to get some Chipotle, and they have this weird thing over here on the bike trail. And a bird is making a weird noise. Let's get out of here. Okay, while my brother is doing whatever work he's doing, I'm gonna sit here watching over his shoulder eating burrito.
My nephews were over this week and they were doing that puzzle. Doesn't that look just like Final Fantasy Tactics? How have I never put those two together? Breakfast time. Ooh, babe.
So I've been sitting at my keyboard trying to write music for like the past 2 hours, and I've pooped out like the beginning of 2 songs. And I realized that I've been talking about writer's block for years on this blog, and I've never referred to it as writer's block before. And I think part of that is because I don't think of writer's block as like a crisis that comes every now and then and you have to get over it and like let time pass and go on like a sabbatical or whatever. I think of writer's block as just a part of the creative process, and you have to just bust through it every time it comes up, because it comes up all the time. And really it's happened enough at this point that I know you just have to persevere. Try something else, so like go work on something else for a while, or take a shower, which is what I'm gonna do now. It's like 1,000,000 degrees. Okay, let's go do that. I do know one thing not to do is to eat. Eat seems like, oh yeah, I'll just go eat something, you know? That's a good way to kill your motivation. Another stalling tactic I recommend is cutting your fingernails, shaving, brushing your teeth, organizing. At least then, you're actually making good use of your time instead of just eating or surfing the internet. Persistence is key. I just stuck with it and I made a song that I can be proud of. It's like this nice little grooving piece. I'm not sure where we'll use it, but that's never stopped us before. You always just write. Anyway. So far, a pretty good start to the week. Not blasting off like I was hoping to, but still a good amount of progress, you know, feeling good. Working on my video. Got all my other ducks in a row right now. Everything's pretty good. Okay, back to work a little bit more for the day. Okay, I had to really quickly pause. This is what I live for, is when you have the perfect marriage of music and video and the serendipity of like, there's a section of the music where like birds are flying by and then just it happens to be at that point in the song, it does this little choir thing. That is literally what I live for. I think that's a pretty accurate thing to say. Like, having that in my life makes life worth living, if that makes sense. It's really interesting how your subjective perception of time versus the actual objective reality of it can be so different. Like today I worked all day, it's like almost 8 o'clock. The work that I got done is really solid. The song I wrote is gonna be used at the beginning of the episode so we can actually see how it's gonna be. It's like, it's looking good. But it feels like I didn't accomplish enough. So it's weird. When I look at it objectively, I'm like, well, yeah, I've accomplished plenty. Subjectively, I'm like, it doesn't feel like that though. And I feel like any type of anything that you're taking on or constructing or making or working on, doesn't matter what it is, patience really is key. It's a fine line between being patient and being passive, but I think as long as you're on the line of active patience, I don't have an end to that sentence. So that's gonna do it for today's vlog. I started watching Star Trek The Next Generation finally. I watched them all when I was like in middle school and elementary school with my parents, but it's like you need more life experience to really understand Star Trek and appreciate it. It's a great show. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. These grannies be driving with reckless abandon. Whew. I definitely need some new shoes.